My hair is short, but my attention span is even shorter. What's going on, guys? So the next couple of days something really important is happening, and to my 3 Romanian subscribers, you already know what's going on. You can just go ahead and skip this part. But the rest of you, on the 1st of December, it's Romania's National Day. And this year it's a big one because we're basically celebrating the centenary. What that means is that in 1918, we basically did a reverse Pangea and all the bits and pieces got unified, thus forming the Romania we know today. And it's all well and good, except for a little thing that kind of bums me out. So basically every year I used to do this joke saying like, oh, happy birthday Romania, you are now 2017 years old. And at least one of my friends would get riled up about it because obviously it's such a dumb thing to say. But you know, this year is technically true. I can't go like, oh, happy birthday Romania, you are 100 years old, because yeah, that's basically it. We are 100 years old. So there's that. Also, and this might seem like a weird segue, but it will all make sense in the end, so bear with me. We recently inaugurated the tallest cathedral in the world. Cathedral, because it's basically a religious high-rise. Because it includes multiple luxury apartments and a gym, because obviously clergymen also need to get swole for the summer, and you know, multiple other knickknacks that you wouldn't normally associate with a religious establishment. And as you can tell, I am absolutely not bitter at all about it, not one bit. So what I wanted to say is that obviously in these trying times it's best that we return to much simpler days. Therefore, this episode of ASMR will be all about Romanian customs. Basically, we're killing 2 birds with 1 stone, 2 boys with 1 cold one, if you may. Because first of all, we are doing a Romanian themed episode for Romania's National Day, and second of all, because a lot of you have been asking me on Snapchat whether we have Halloween or Thanksgiving or electricity and running water. So let's just get around the fire. Wait 1 sec. So let's get around the fire and let me fill your head with useless information that you probably will never get to apply in real life. So we're going to start off with St. Andrew's Day. This is the day just before the National Day, and let me tell you, it's sort of a really busy day custom-wise, because supposedly this is when all the spirits are free to roam the earth. And well, it's basically like the Romanian Halloween. And you know, as is custom with spirits, some are very useful while others are just here to do you dirty. So it's not uncommon for people to perform certain protective rituals, And I'm saying it like that because you'd expect the ritual to be more complex, while these are just as simple as keeping garlic around so that no strigoi will enter your household, or just flipping your dishes on their head, so if a spirit does enter your house, he will feel unwelcomed and he won't settle himself inside your household. But again, these are just things that people, no matter the nationality, do. I mean, people who don't keep garlic around their house aren't friends of mine, and they shouldn't be friends of yours either. So anyway, as I said, there are also useful spirits, and they show themselves by presenting people with their futures, usually regarding stuff like prosperity and marriage. So it's not uncommon to this day for people to put a piece of grain or a couple of beans between two pieces of cotton soaked in water, and you leave that mixture around for a couple of weeks and just watch as the plant grows. And based on that, based on how tall your plant is, you can interpret whether you're going to have a more or less prosperous year. Now, all the rituals regarding marriage revolve around the idea that you have so many suitors that it's impossible to just pick one to marry. So you must do a ritual that will help you choose who is the person that you fit best with. So this is something that girls usually do. On the night of St. Andrew, you put a piece of dried basil under your pillow, and what that will help you with is that, aside from the fact that the next day your hair will smell like pesto, it will enhance your ability to dream your future husband. Obviously, some girls go the more extreme route, because you can also just fast the entire day, bake this special type of bread that's supposed to be so salted that it will make you instantly thirsty, and you aren't supposed to drink one drop of water, so that when you go to bed, the person who brings you water in your sleep will be the person you are supposed to marry. Chronologically, the next event I want to cover is Dragobete, which is the Romanian Valentine's Day. Now, there's plenty of people who like to shit on Valentine's Day worldwide because, you know, if you truly love your significant other, you don't wait to show your love and appreciation on Valentine's Day. You gather up all their hair and nail clippings, make a doll out of them, and just stick it up your ass on a random day of the year. You don't need Valentine's Day for that. But we as Romanians have one extra reason to hate on Valentine's Day. And it's mostly annoying hipsters who point out that 10 days from the International Valentine's Day, there's our holiday, which is basically the exact same thing. Side note, I want to say this: don't let anyone with an undercut and thick rimmed glasses make you feel bad for not knowing when Dragobete is. I tend to forget about this holiday basically every year and only remember about it because at the pizza place where I tend to order my food just sends me a free coupon every year on Dragobete. So there's that. Now, about the holiday itself, it's a holiday with Dacian origins. So basically, Dragobete was the son of Babadocia being the daughter of King Decebal. And when the Roman armies invaded the Dacian kingdom. The Emperor Trajan was so smitten with this girl that, well, he basically asked her to marry him. She didn't like that very much, so she declined and took some of her loyal subjects and hid in the forest to escape the Roman armies. There in the forest, she began to pray to the Dacian god Moses and asked him to provide her safe escape from, the Roman conquerors. So what Moses did was turn her to stone, which, if you ask me, is a shit deal. So this Dokia had a son, and he was sort of a Pepe Le Pew of ancient times. He was a crazy big womanizer. He would basically kiss any and all women who he came across. Thus became the saying, Dragobete kisses the girls. I know, it just sounds way better in Romanian, where it's Dragobete sărută fetele. You see, it kind of rhymes. So, back to our times. Usually on Dragobete, the boys would wake up early in the morning, go to the forest and gather flowers for the girls in the village. Around noon, both the boys and the girls would meet up around the village center, commonly known by Romanian folk as Vatra Satului. And there the boys would chase the girls, and if they caught them, they would kiss them. Now, if the girl truly liked that boy, she would run slower, let him catch her. But if she didn't like the boy, she better hope that her cardio was on point by that time of the year, because if you got kissed by a boy you didn't like, you were basically screwed, because kissing meant that you are basically engaged at that point. So, people who think that, nowadays dating is all on fast forward, just remember that in olden times, second base was marriage. Our next event spans across a week and a half. It starts on the 1st of March and ends on the 9th. And well, on the 1st of March you have the Mărțișor, which is a holiday where all the boys, regardless if they see you as a potential love partner or just a friend, they have to give you these tiny trinkets that are tied with a red and white string. And back in the olden times, this trinket used to represent good luck, meaning that it was usually in the shape of a horseshoe or a four-leaf clover or a chimney sweep. But nowadays, basically everything can be a mărțișor. All it needs is to be tied with this little red and white string. It can be food, it can be cosmetics, it could be a lock of hair that you cut off from your loved one while they were sleeping that you glued to their front door. Anything. So if a girl likes you, she will ask you to tie that little string around her wrist. And if you like her back, obviously you comply. And if the string doesn't break off easily, in a couple of days or so, it means that your relationship will be long lasting. So this 1st of March is also the start of sort of a, mystical week, because between the 1st and the 9th you have to pick a lucky day, and depending on the weather on that day, you will know whether you're going to have a good or a bad year. And how you select that day is sort of special because it depends on the day you were born. So for example, I was born on the 5th of May, and that means that the 5th of March is my lucky day, which we in Romania call Baba. So the 5th of March is my Baba every year. But if you are born on a double digit day, then you just add those two numbers as many times as you need until you reach a single digit number, and that represents your lucky day. And if you need to look at the origins of that, then we return to our good pal Baba Dokia, who before she was turned to stone, she was the original inventor of the multiple layers of challenge, because it is said that during the winter she would wear 9 coats, one on top of the other, and during this time between the 1st and the 9th she would just shed one coat after the other, meaning that by the time this period was over, she wasn't wearing any coats, meaning that spring was finally here and it was finally warm outside. Then afterwards, on the 8th of March, we have Mother's Day, which is basically the same Mother's Day you all celebrate. And on the 9th, when everything is supposed to be over, we just basically throw a massive rager, because we celebrate by making this traditional dish, which is basically a sort of soup made out of Cheerios. Obviously we don't use actual Cheerios, it's a particular type of cookie, but we boil it in water, add sugar, cinnamon, lemon zest, rum, vanilla, and crushed walnuts, and somehow it doesn't turn out as disgusting as I made it sound just now. That, and also the fact that the men are supposed to drink 40 glasses of wine that day and somehow not die. That was all for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'd like to give some special thanks to my Patreon supporters, Kurt, Mark Carter, and 7 stars. If you would also like to get a second thank you message, then you can get it by becoming a supporter on Patreon. Anyway, see you guys next time. And until then, don't forget to check your privilege after every meal. Otherwise, you get cavities.